Are you looking for hope, humor, and help along this crazy journey called life? If so, then this podcast is for you. As a homeschooling mom of 5, I went from a depressed coffee addict to a passionate storyteller, and I want you to know that there is more to life than what you can always see. I'm your host, Melanie Gall, and on this show, you'll gain tools to create the life you want, cultivate who you are made to be, and celebrate just how far you've come on this messy road. I praise the Lord that He isn't done with any of us yet, and the truth is, because of Him, we are sustained in the middle. Good day. Thank you so much for joining me again on this podcast called Sustained in the Middle. I just really appreciate that you keep coming back, and I love sharing my stories, and I love hearing kind of what the Lord is doing in each of your lives through it. So thank you so much. Today I'm going to talk about self-compassion. What the heck is this? When I started reading Brené Brown's books, I'm going to say about 8 years ago, she talks a lot about self-compassion and in conjunction with shame. And I could never really put words or language around how I felt in my body when it came to shame and what it felt like in my body when it came to self-compassion. And it wasn't until I was with my soul coach, Dr. Tina Hay, with Living Life by Design, that she started to help me piece together what this meant. Brené Brown uses Kristin Neff, and she is kind of an expert in self-compassion. But as I was going through a lot of my junk from the past with my soul coach, she kept bringing up self-compassion, and I finally just said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand that. And she brought me through this beautiful exercise. In order to have self-compassion, we need to kind of go back and start to be aware of how we feel. And a way to be able to do that is to notice your responses and your reactions to things. Specifically negative. Why did you react in such a huff towards that lady? Or what made you so angry? How did that feel in your body? What triggered you? Where did that anger come from? So it's learning to be aware of when you respond out of anger or out of sadness or out of fear, and kind of starting to name all of those particular emotions. So as you start to name these emotions, you recognize that you're feeling them, and then you move to the next step, which you are now starting to recognize that you are not the only one that feels this way. When Jesus was on the earth, He felt all of the emotions. And emotion in and of itself is not bad. It's very neutral. But it's as we start to dwell and act in that it can start to become a problem. And often, especially if we're feeling sad or left out or like a victim of our situation, we can tend to think, maybe it's just me, that we are the only one that feels this way. That everybody else gets to have a great life, everybody else is happy, everybody else's husband treats them better, everyone else's kids listen better, everyone is able to clean their house better. I must be the only one that sucks this bad. Am I the only one? I don't think so, and I'm here to tell you no, that all emotion is shared by all of humanity. You are not alone. When we start to recognize our emotions, realize that we are not alone, then we can move into the space of self-compassion. Self-compassion is simply asking, what do I need? Or another way to put it is, I give myself permission to. So for example, if I am in a situation, let's say with a friend who has allowed me into her heart and her into my heart, and there's this really deep space of vulnerability. And if one of us triggers each other, we will want to run and hide because it hurts. Right then and there, I need to recognize that I am running. I need to recognize that I'm not the only one to feel that. There are other people who feel that way, and I am not alone. I need to give myself permission to feel hurt because that's okay. But I also need to give myself permission for things to be messy as I want to make things right. And that is when we start to break down the barriers of shame and self-contempt and deep dislike and disregard for our hearts. I really hope that this can be helpful for you in your journey as you are walking towards Christ and towards personal growth and towards what it is that He has for you. Because these tools are so important as you walk through life. Because if you don't have compassion for yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to have grace and compassion for others. Let me know what you think about this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Talk to you again.